let's jump right in. As you know, I think some of you know, I am an MSNBC contributor. I am like, if they had a list of the hierarchy of contributors there, I would be not close to the bottom. I would be literally the bottom, I think.
You'd be the top of the Bernie supporters, though.
I'd be very close to the top of the supporting. In fact, yes, I probably would be in the top position of the Bernie supporters who are paid contributors there. That said, I've been working at the, I've been appearing on MSNBC for 15 years. And I don't know if I've ever done Chris Matthews' show. I don't think I did. Maybe back in the day. I was booked many times. Not many times. But probably half a dozen over the years. And then they get into the meeting and they realize that there's a problem with me. It's fine. Like we do that around here occasionally.
What do you think it is with you?
Well, I mean, I've probably criticized him. I don't know. I don't think it's like an ideological thing. I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe
a lot of times
he just doesn't like your face.
That comes up too. I mean, not necessarily my face, but faces. They're definitely, when I filled in for Olbermann, that was about 10 years ago now, I would raise a person and they would say, not right for television.
Damn.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's TV product, entertainment product. Chris Matthews over the years has gotten in hot water because he has said some really inappropriate things on air about women. He has said inappropriate things about people of color at times. He has put his foot in the mouth, and he said some, I think, completely nuts things about like, he had an exchange with Warren recently that I thought was like nuts about Bloomberg. And of course, there was that one where he thought that, Bernie Sanders might be hiding a secret agenda, that it goes beyond Denmark into Central Park, killings and whatnot.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And there's been more over the years. I mean, years and years of this. George Bush is, a real cowboy machismo. I mean, he really, really enjoyed George Bush. Last night, he opened his show by announcing that he was retiring from MSNBC anyways, and gave this, and I have to say, a good way to go out. I thought this was pretty strong, actually. And, I think had he had this level of awareness over the past, 5-10 years, that would have been, I think, a healthier thing. But let's play that now.
Let me start with my headline tonight. I'm retiring. This is the last hard...
Bear with us 1 second. Sorry, we got to refresh that. Here we go.
I feel like I'm reading his mind.
Yeah. That was one of the things that he would rarely do. He had this a unique ability as a broadcaster to actually speak without his lips moving at all. I don't know what. Here we go. Here we go.
Let me start with my headline tonight. I'm retiring. This is the last hardball on MSNBC. And obviously, this isn't for lack of interest in politics. As you can tell, I've loved every minute of my 20 years as host of Hardball. Every morning I read the papers, and I'm gung-ho to get to work. Not many people have had this privilege. I love working with my producers and the discussions we have over how to report the news. And I love having this connection with you, the good people who watch. I've learned who you are, bumping into you on the sidewalk or waiting at an airport and saying hello. You're like me. I hear it from your kids and grandchildren who say, my dad loves you, or my grandmother loves you, or my husband watched it till the end. Well, after a conversation with MSNBC, I decided tonight will be my last hardball, so let me tell you why. The younger generations out there are ready to take the reins. We see them in politics, in the media, in fighting for their causes. They are improving the workplace. We're talking here about better standards than we grew up with, fair standards. A lot of it has to do with how we talk to each other. Compliments on a woman's appearance that some men, including me, might have once incorrectly thought were okay. We're never okay. Not then and certainly not today. And for making such comments in the past, I'm sorry. I'm very proud of the work I've done here. Long before I went on television, I worked for years in politics, was a newspaper columnist and author. I'm working on another book. I'll continue to write and talk about politics and cheer on my producers and crew here in Washington and New York and my MSNBC colleagues. They will continue to produce great journalism in the years ahead. And for those of you who have gotten into the habit of watching Hardball every night, I hope you're going to miss me because I'm going to miss you. But remembering Humphrey Bogart and Casablanca, we'll always have Hardball. So let's not say goodbye, but till we meet again.
Yeah, I think that's about as strong of an exit as you can make. An awareness, he's acknowledging there an awareness that that there's a new generation, that he may be a little bit out of step with what is happening within the Democratic Party. And also a very straightforward acknowledgement that he has been inappropriate with women. And there was a piece, the most recent piece, I can't remember what publication, maybe it was in GQ. Laura Bassett, right? Who I think used to be at the Huffington Post. I can't quite remember. But she came out and spoke about her experience, not just on air with Matthews, but apparently inappropriate comments sort of like in the moments before going on air. And my understanding is that there were, and she, I think, wrote this in the piece, other women who experienced this fairly consistently from Matthews. And, you know, he could have gone up there and said his goodbye without acknowledging that that was a problem for him and without saying that, you know, he's leaving now. This isn't an apology so that he can stay. And
well, do you think he's being ushered out the door for that reason, though?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do. I don't know if, you know, who pushed what or this or that, but I think yes, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I think there was other things, but I think that was one of the. I think those 2 points were clearly the 2 big points, and the idea that he acknowledged these things in the past, did not make an excuse for himself. Simply said the reality, you know, that the standards have changed, that they were never fair to begin with, and you know, kudos to him. I'm not saying he should stay. I'm saying, but I mean, honestly, but I'm saying, like, you know, I think that was and I hate the word classy, but that was a very sort of dignified way to go out, and a one that sort of, I think, expressed that he understood what was going on and why, you know, as opposed to some people who they get into that situation. It's really, they feel sorry for themselves and they make it about themselves in that regard. So,
yeah, I am going to miss a little bit watching him crap his pants over Bernie Sanders, though. I will say, like, it's so much more respectful to the other side than pretending to be neutral while subtly throwing shade. So I respected that about him.
Yeah, you always did get a sense of where he stood, but it was always also sort of rather odd in some places.